The first step in using Cameo with PowerPoint Live and Microsoft Teams is to build your presentation. So I've got a presentation here that I'm going to build. Okay. So I'm going to call it Cameo. And I want to insert my video on this slide so that it's in a position where I want it when I'm presenting. So I'm not in this fixed static position like I am now. So I'm going to go to the Insert tab on the ribbon in PowerPoint, and at the far end here, you will notice there is a new button called Cameo. And I'm going to use that to insert my image. Now, because I've done that, I've got various design ideas that use that Cameo in it, the layout. And so you can go and pick the different designs and have a play around with what you like. You'll also notice that once you select your Cameo, your video position, the camera ribbon tab comes active on in PowerPoint. And here you can adjust the size, the style, the borders, etc. of your camera, your Cameo video that you've inserted into your presentation. You can also control which camera it's using. So on my next slide, I'm going to build up the details of how to do this. Now I'll finish this presentation later. I'm just going to put some placeholder content in for now and insert another Cameo here so that I can pick up the different design ideas. Now I really want my Cameo in a different location, so let's go with that one. Okay, and I think I'll sit the camera in the middle here. And obviously you can play around with the layout, and there's some that embed it in different positions. Now that would actually look better as a circle, perhaps slightly bigger circle. Okay, and obviously nudge it with your arrow keys to kind of align it. And maybe I need to go a little bit bigger, but you can play around with that precisely. Now, the other important thing once you've got your slides laid out is how you move from one slide to the other, because just jumping from slide 1 to slide 2 will be quite abrupt. So if I go to transitions, there is a transition here called morph. Now morph is not new, but it's really good in terms of it will slide that object and it'll morph it into its new position. It kind of change it. So you'll see it start to change from the rectangle into the circle as it moves on to the next slide. So by using that morph transition, I will get a nice smooth movement between my slides. So once you've got your presentation finished, it's then time to move on to use it with Teams. Okay, what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to go and join my Teams meeting. There I am in the meeting. My camera's on in the meeting, ready to go. So that's all set up, and I'm going to now present in Teams. So we switch across and we choose to present in Teams. And immediately it's detected that I'm using a presentation with Cameo embedded. But I could choose the different layout for this presentation, this PowerPoint Live presentation with the Cameo. Yes, I can go with the ordinary standout. I can still do content only, or I can go back to the Cameo option. And then as I move through the slides, you'll notice that it repositions my camera on the slide to a different location. So if you're going to use this, the first step is to set up your presentation. And we did a quick preview of that, but basically insert the Cameo, control it with the customization options on the camera ribbon tab, and that transition where we moved the camera, the position of the camera was using the morph transition between slides. So that's really quite nice with these slides. So on to the next one, no transition on that, looks a little bit jerky. But then the second step, as you saw, was just to present in Teams using PowerPoint Live, which is obviously more efficient in terms of the data streaming that you're doing. Accept that presentation in the Teams meeting. You've got to be in the meeting before you start, otherwise it doesn't work. And then lastly, make sure you have your camera on in the meeting, and then choose Cameo. Now, if you've got your camera on in the meeting, you've got a virtual background that can come forward. I'm actually using OBS Studio as my virtual camera here to do the background with a green screen, so it's slightly different effect, but that's how you do Cameo with PowerPoint Live.